thought you turned it off.
Yeah, she said. Heads up. Yeah, he's gonna try to take down something. And then so y'all get through it, they get back to there, but then they go deep. Right there.
Well, I mean, understand that, but there's still 35 other plays.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I just, yeah. We're not gonna. I'm just telling you.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
not gonna burn it up.
No, don't worry. We're not running on football. We ain't got.
Yeah, they can. We gotta focus here.
Now taking the field are the senior high cheerleading squad.
How many boys they have on sidelines? Y'all notice?
Your captain is Lakia Moore.
Y'all notice how many total players they had out there?
Co-captain Jamie Jo Giles.
11 on the field.
Logan Strickland. Tanisha Morgan. Kinley Reynolds. Shalexa Shelton. Kayla Williams. Tori McCann. And Gracie Patterson. At this time, the senior high cheerleading squad is going to do a breast cancer cheer that we
I think they got
learned
more
this week.
players and cheerleaders.
Following this, there
Band
will be
members, and they got band here.
lighting ceremony to the right where you see the balloons. We had pink out day today at the school, so take it away, girls.
Ain't that big Kev over there in the other booth over there?
I think so.
They got 4 in that end, counting Kev, and 4 in the other end. We had 6 in here. Can't count Jessica. She don't take up no more room than a bug.
That sure is tight quarter.
as well as the family members and the family members of loved ones that have passed. Thank you all for your support in helping the Hampton High School East Lab and the Hampton Bulldogs tackle for a cure.
Please join us.
Okay, we're back at Andy Anders Field here at Boyd Arnold Stadium, Hampton, Arkansas. Halftime, Junction City 29, Hampton nothing. Got about a little less than 7 minutes left till the start of the second half. And let's talk about some stats.
Individuals affected by cancer. We pray that you give strength to those suffering and peace to those who have lost loved ones. Amen.
Okay.
Passing, Randall Holyfield thrown the ball 16 times, completed 8 of them for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's also carried twice for 64 yards that set up 2 more Dragon scores. And the leading receiver for the Dragons is Jamario Belly, had 83 yards receiving and a touchdown. One of them was also on the botched punt, so to speak, that Jarkel Brown will only get about probably 17 yards passing for, when it was actually probably about a 35, 40 yard toss. So those are the leaders on offense.
And defensively, number 4.
With 8 tackles, that's Josh Armstrong. And some big hits all around from the Dragon defense. Hampton running out of the triple option if you're just joining us, which is a hard offense to defend. It's assignment football, and you have to be, every guy has to do their job. 10 guys can do their job, but if one guy doesn't come through, you know, with his assignment, then it could be anywhere from 15-yard gain or a 60-yard touchdown run. That's the type of defense you have to play when you run against an offense like the triple option.
Yes, it's one of those I've heard coaches describe before. You got to really pay attention to your assignment.
Yes.
You know, one of you's responsible for the fullback, one's responsible for a halfback or the quarterback or whatever, and you have to pay attention. And Junction City, like you said, Jacob, did a very good job in the first half of keeping Hampton from doing anything. The Dragons, using their speed plus strength, dominated the line of scrimmage, and Josh Armstrong, we'll use him again as an example, flying in there on the tackles. I mean, and all over the field again.
A lot of that can be contributed to you know, the DNs. Jamario Bell on one side, Robert Armstrong, Will Smith sometimes lined up out there, keeping contained, and you know, fullbacks, halfbacks forced to cut it in, and there awaits 4, or there awaits 53 there to make the stop. And the D-line getting a lot of pressure too. Hampton's tried to has tried to throw the ball a couple of times out of the triple option, and the D-line's getting so much push that after the fakes are run out, it's not much. You don't have much time to do anything with the football.
And I was looking out on the field, and ladies and gentlemen, there is a legend if Junction City ever had one. Old Truck is he don't have the blanket with him, but he's got his umbrella just in case the rain comes in. But if he had the blanket, I'm pretty sure he would put it down on the field somewhere and let everybody know Junction City's in the house. A good friend, Old Truck there. Good to see him. Talking about the Junction City defensive line, talking about assignments and everything. Coach Carpenter talked about that, plus he used the word focus. We got to be intense. We got to play every down. I don't want to see no more lapses. And you understand where he's coming from.
Definitely.
So the second half, we expect the same thing. What do you do different in the second half as far as, okay, I want to get the backups in, but you talked about one thing he likes to do, especially when you play, is put stuff on film for people to worry about.
As far as a style of play, you do nothing different in the second half. It doesn't matter if, you know, a freshman's in there, or excuse me, I guess a sophomore in this, with the junior high season still going on. A sophomore's in there, the intensity shouldn't change. I mean, yes, there may be a difference in style of play based on one reason why one guy's starting. I mean, you know, that's beside the point. Intensity has to be the same. And, you know, as far as putting something on film that other teams haven't seen so far, you know, you get to the playoffs, third round, opponent coach is looking at the Dragon film, and all of a sudden he's seen something that he hasn't seen in the 3 other films that he has. That puts in the back of his mind, we have to do something about this, and that the time he takes planning for that may take away time he could have planning for another play or another formation or another, combination of backs, any little thing, and it could come through big for Junction later on.
Right, because you don't have, you have that, in the play. Well, for any week, you got those 3 or 4 days of practice, and you do this on this day and that on that day and that. Well, if you're concerned about Junction City, like a while ago, we ran the 2-point conversion, and you said, I guarantee you, that's put it on the film for somebody to worry about.
No doubt, and not only is it time for something like this, where you could want to put in a new system, or a new play or a new formation, but you also want to be able to run the plays of your base offense. Nobody's going to be perfect, but to perfection, so to speak.
Right.
Because when you get late in the playoffs, you may come back to a formation that you haven't run in 3 or 4 weeks, and if you're good with your base formations, and you can spend some time working on that look, so that the other team may not be prepared for it.
And you said that about the formations. If you remember, we did the first game of the season, the Earl game, and we talked about visiting with Coach Hutchinson. He sat in on one of the meetings and told us, hey, we have a package. Our fans are going to love. We love it. Jarkel Brown at quarterback, and we put 5 out. Okay. We've seen Jarkel, I think, 1, maybe 2 series at quarterback. Now, he did not, if I remember right, did not throw the ball, but he was at quarterback, ran a few plays, like I said, on a couple series. Would you, in this game, okay, Jarkel, we're going to run this, get it on film and look at it, or do you just keep kind of working on that but holding it back?
Personally, I think that's something you kind of want to hold back and wait till a couple of more weeks, to where the folks that do get a hold of the film, they don't get a hold of it too early, and therefore, but definitely it's something that I know that they're comfortable with running. A 5-wide formation is something that they'll probably need in the future, and something that'll definitely ignite the offense.
And something that the Dragons may need to use sometime. You never know how things go. Okay, the teams are coming back on the floor. Junction City is back on the field now. Hampton is, as I turn and look, they're down on the far end, stretching and getting loose, and we're about ready to start the second half. And at this time, let me do a little disclaimer here. This broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, is the exclusive property of the Dragon Sports Network. The express written approval of the Dragon Sports Network or the Junction City School District is required for the rebroadcast of any or all parts of the program. And with that, we look ahead now to the second half. And of course, we talked about it. There's not really much else you can say. You want to get the game over with. You want to get the mercy rule in and all that. But it's still important to notice the backups. The backups really need, some film time, I guess you would say. Let's get them on film. Let's really get a look at them. So this is a chance for someone that hasn't really played a lot.
The opportunity, yes.
Opportunity to step up.
And it is. It's time for, the coaching staff to be able to evaluate late games, who's still playing hard, regardless if the score's 29-0, 35-0, 50-0. Who's playing hard? Who's wanting to be a part of a deep run into the playoffs?
Right. Who's really wanting to get involved?
Who else can help?
As somebody that's looked good here in the first half, and I'm just going to use them as examples, Lane Wood. Number 12, he's made 2 or 3 real good plays. I mean, wasn't necessarily tackles or nothing, but it was pressure on the quarterback.
He did have a quarterback pressure that resulted in a big hit from the safety position, and that was a situation in which they were throwing on a 3rd and I believe 19.
And it was 3rd and 19, and he came in hard on the quarterback. And that's, Coach Carpenter has talked about, as the season goes along, he said our first goal, of course, is win every game in September, but he said also at the end of September, we're undefeated. I'm still looking for people to step up. So this is the important part. If you're a really diehard Dragon fan, you're like, okay, who's our backups? Who we going to have ready, or who could step into a starting role if need be? Games like this is where they really get a look at them, extensive film study of them, I guess you could say, and see who can come through and contribute down the road. Because I guarantee you, Coach Carpenter, he's still looking at this game, he's still looking at next week, but he's also gearing up for the playoffs. We know we're going. It's not a secret. It's just a matter of which seed we're going to be.
Yeah, and other
Right.
teams in the state know we're coming too. So
That's it. It's not bragging, it's fact.
that's it.
That's it. All right, Hampton will kick off to start the second half. Back deep for the Dragons is Jarkel Brown. And the up men are Demario Hayes and Sailor Wilson. And we're about ready to start the second half. Junction City on top, 29-0. And of course, the second half brought to you by the fine sponsors of the Dragon Sports Network. And I'll name them here in a second. There's a relative deep kick. Hayes is going to field it. He fumbles it, picks it up at about the 13-yard line. He's coming across the field. He makes a cut into the middle. He's up to about the 25.
He's got
at the
space.
30. He's got some blockers. He's got people helping him out here, and he is fixing to go to distance. The 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Junction City. Demario Hayes, 87, 88, something like that.
No
Yard
flags
run,
on the
no
field.
flags down. And that will keep the clock running now.
And you couldn't ask for a better situation coming out of half. Gets the clock running right off the bat. And Hayes had blockers in front of him. He had a little cavalry escorting him to the end zone.
He did. He had about 4 in front of him there.
Turned a couple of guys around on the Bulldog kickoff team. And it was
he scooted right on in. So that makes it 35-0, and we're pending the extra point. Jarkel Brown to attempt it. There's a snap ball down, kick is up, and it is good. Our new score with 11:42 remaining in the third quarter. Junction City 36, Hampton nothing. And a reminder, our trivia question brought to you by these fine sponsors: McDonald's Grocery, STI Sims, Accident and Injury Center of South Arkansas, Junction City Florists, and Junction City Pharmacy. Who was the Dragons' first All-Star football player? Went to the All-Star game, but they haven't. I believe it's around June. Used to be in early July. It's at the end of June now, the East versus the West. Who was Junction City's first All-Star football player? And a free Coke to the winner. You come to the next Junction City home game, come by and see us. We'll give you the thing showing you won. You take the concession in, get you a nice cold Coke, buy your bag of popcorn, and watch these Dragons. Who was the Dragons' first All-Star football player? You can't beat that. So, Junction City will kick it off. And I was watching the clock. It's not running. It should be. But anyway, here's the kick. It's going to go out of bounds. And Hampton will start at the 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Now the clock is rolling. And I think they had to wait on the kickoff, and then I was going to run. So the Dragons have invoked the mercy rule. And Junction City's going to bring, I'm looking here, basically their starting defensive unit back on the field. I guess, a couple more series. They may start substituting some people in.
Give them some more looks.
And kind of put some of the guys in with the starters and see how things go. So from the 35-yard line, 1st and 10, Hampton. Quarterback for the Bulldogs is number 9. Let me see if I can get a name with that. Chase Riley. And on the first play, nothing happening. About where we left off at the end of the first half. So to bring up 2nd and 10. And Jacob, it's about that time, ain't it? Let's get ready to do a few shout-outs here. And let's see what all we got cooking tonight. Who all is checking in with us? And Sherelle is listening from a campfire at Lake Catherine. Glad you're with us. Urban and Norma Wilson from West Monroe. Glad you're with us. Glad to have you. And Robert Pepper, good buddy Bubba, Baytown, Texas, doing the pipeline deal. Glad you're with us tonight. And Mr. Dale Langley said, hey, I'm with you, but I'm watching from the easy chair. And big guy, I believe you know this guy here. Ryan Shue is tuning in from Tacoma, Washington. Air Force man.
There we go. Glad to have you, Ryan, a former teammate. He was a senior my sophomore year. Played with him on the offensive line. Enjoyed playing with him. Had a great run that year. And we appreciate all you do for this country. Glad to have you listening.
Yes, sir. Definitely. So, if you got anybody else out there, give us a holler, let us know. And while we were doing that, They had run a play. Nothing happened, and we were still waiting, and now there's a penalty. The scoreboard shows third down, but it's still second down. There hadn't anything else happened, so I don't know for sure what went on there. But it's going to be 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs instead of 2nd and 10. Clock running now continuously. Mercy rule invoked. 9:15 left. Here's the give, the number 2 for Hampton. That is, and he has been a busy man for the Bulldogs, Leandre Johnson. He gets a nice run there across midfield to about the 48-yard line. Be a 1st and 10 for the Dogs.
And that is only the 4th first down of the night for the Bulldogs. You have to give credit to the Hampton coaching staff. They've stayed within their system, as I believe they had 18 yards rushing in the first half, 5 yards passing, but they're sticking with it. And so far they're able to move the ball here a little bit against the Dragon defense coming out of the half.
And of course that makes Coach Abels happy, because you're looking for anything. When you're rebuilding a program, you look for anything positive you can find.
Positive.
And so far it hasn't been much positive, but a little bit there that he can kind of hang his hat on. There's a play here that's going to pick up about 1.5 yards, and that's going to be about it. It'll bring up 2nd. We'll call it a long 8. 8 minutes, 8 seconds left in the third quarter. Junction City 36, Hampton nothing. And as I mentioned already, this third quarter being brought to you by the sponsors of the Dragon Sports Network: Junction City Pharmacy, Junction City Florist, McDonald's Grocery. And here's a give again to, I believe, Johnson. And really nothing happening, about a 1-yard pickup. Also, STI Sims, Accident and Injury Center of South Arkansas, Dr. Jed Frisbee. If you have any back pains, problems, aches, he is the man you need to see. So, 3rd and about 7 from about the 45-yard line. Dragon defense still basically the starters in there. And Hampton doing the same. Riley, your quarterback. Dogs in the bone, got a man in motion. Here's a give again to Johnson, and he got a good little run here, but he's going to be put back pretty hard. He gets popped pretty good there after a pickup of about, we'll call it 5. It's going to bring 4th and 2, and I would guess the Bulldogs are going to roll the dice and say, go for it.
Yeah, you really have nothing to lose in this situation. That was number 2, Leandre Johnson on the carry. He's been a busy, as you mentioned just a while ago, he's been a busy man tonight. He's actually showed some pretty good signs of being able to carry the ball, even when there's not really much running room back because of the push that the Dragon defensive line is getting.
You're right. He's made some good runs. It might not have been a lot of game, but he could have easily lost yards. All right, 4th down.
Keeper.
And it's going to. Oh,
he got it on the second effort.
He may got it on second effort. I believe he did.
Turned around. He was stopped at the line of scrimmage, but the second effort.
And a good effort there, and it's going to give the Bulldogs a 1st down at the Dragon 36. So Hampton keeps the drive going. Clock continues to run. About 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Dragons in control. Hampton trying to now get on the board and avoid the shutout. So 1st and 10. Riley looks over to Dragon defense, who's got there's 7 in the box. And just straight ahead push. Keeper. And that'll pick up about, I'm going to say about 5 yards there, 4 yards. And it'll bring up 2nd and 5 or 6. And Hampton also, Jacob, may be saying, hey, you know what? We're just going to milk this clock on out. Keep Junction City from putting any more points on the board.
It's in a situation of, let's get out of here. Try to get out of here early.
Yeah. All right. Bulldogs staying in their same offense you talked about. Riley looks over to Dragon defense under center, takes a snap, tosses to Johnson. Johnson around the corner, a nice run, and is going to get a 1st down. Yes, nice run. He'll get down to about the 24-yard line. It'll be a 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. And the head Dragon, he's not saying much, but you can tell from the way
mannerisms show. I don't think he's too happy down there.
He's not happy with what he's seeing. And checking into the game now, Mr. Armstrong, number 4.
Hampton putting together a pretty nice drive here in their first drive of the second half, moving the ball. They had 3 total first downs before this drive, and they've had 3 this drive.
So 1st and 10. And Riley, again, a keeper. He's going to pick. Let's see. He's going to pick up about 5, but now the Dragons come out with the ball. And it took them a while to blow the whistle. I mean, they just kept right on. Kind of had a pile up there, and no whistle, and then Junction City with the ball. But now they're saying that they blowed it, the ball's blown dead. But it's going to be a pickup of about 5, and I got a question for you here, Jacob. Is this one of these things Coach Carpenter was worried about?
I think kind of a letdown coming out of half. It's easy to get in, you know, at the time you're up 29, and then you have the big return out of half. You think the intensity would still be there, but I think this is what he's talking about. But
and this time, a much better response and a very nice play by the Dragon defense. Will Smith, Keandre Evans, Jay Mitchell, Matthew Freeman all in on the tackle. And it will bring up a 3rd and 5. 3:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Junction City trying to keep that shutout intact. And I'm pretty sure Coach Smith, he would love to see that. And he'd love to see the end of the game, look up there and there's a 0.
Just the small things you look for, the small goals that you set yourself each week. You know, you want to throw up a goose egg, and you know, a big stop right here on 3rd down would definitely help the Dragons.
All right, here's the pitch to Johnson, and a nice tackle by Mario Hayes, and that will result in a loss of about 2, and it's going to bring up 4th down for the Bulldogs, who will definitely go for it with 2:45 and counting to go in the 3rd quarter.
Dragons caught a break right there. Looked to be like the offensive line wasn't in sync. The left side moved, and the right side still hadn't moved even after the ball was set, and Johnson didn't really have anywhere to go. It's a good play by DeMario Hayes coming up from his safety position.
And we talked about this earlier, flew in there. I mean, on the go. All right, this is going to be a field goal attempt. Bulldogs are going to try to get that goose egg off the board. It's going to be about
30-yard attempt.
About a 30, let's call it
37-yard attempt.
37-yard attempt. Now Hampton is going to call a timeout. So 2:14 to go in the 3rd quarter. 36-0 our score. And one more reminder, our sponsor's trivia question. Who is the Dragons' first All-Star football player? The All-Star game played in June every year between the East and West. It represents the best players in the state. And what we're looking for tonight, our sponsor question, brought to you by Junction City Pharmacy, Junction City Florist, McDonald's Grocery, STI Sims, and Accident and Injury Center of South Arkansas. Okay. All right, and this is from our studio hostess, Melissa Pumphrey, and the teachers at Junction City. They want to shout out to Jaquise Dancy, let him know his teachers love him and are praying for him. And a couple of people have sent in some guesses on the question, who is the Dragons' first All-Star player? I will tell you now, it is not Kevin Payne. So you still got some time. Take a guess. All right, 37-yard field goal attempt by the Dogs, and here comes a flag. And they go ahead and kick it, but the flag is down. He threw it before they kicked it. So now let's see what we got.
Well, the thing is, if the flag is on the Dragons, we did not get a signal whether the kick was good or not. So if they were to decline it, we're not sure whether it is on the Dragons.
It's on the Dragons.
So that'll.
But like you said, there was no signal.
There was no signal on the kick. But I would reckon that Hampton would take the penalty and
try it again. Yes. Because I mean, you're 5 yards closer, so it would be about a
32-yard attempt.
32-yard attempt.
Excuse me, 37-yard attempt. It's 27-yard attempt.
27-yard attempt now. They finally got it spotted. Here we go. Yeah. They're going to try it again. Now he has some good
he had a good
distance
leg.
in. He has some leg in him. Trying to get that goose egg off the board. A little excitement here. The ball's down, kick is up, and I think he put it off. They call it good.
Well,
Holy Moses. That must be an extra long crossbar there. That's a Calhoun County special. All right, they're going to call it good. It is what it is. 36-3, our new score now as we get near the end of the third quarter. Ooh, boy. I started to say that's no good.
It's hard. It's a hard look from over here, but it was good or not is a well-kicked football. I have to admire that. But
Yeah,
like you
was.
said, it is what it is. And you know, a small win for the Bulldogs. They do avoid the shutout.
Okay. I'm going to check and see Dr. Jez Frisbee will offer free eye exams. I know he don't, but we need, or maybe we need to get an eye clinic to start sponsoring broadcast too, so we can recommend some of these officials to go and, get things checked out. We're at the end of the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. I can't believe they call that, but it is what it is. Junction City 36, Hampton 3. We're about ready to start the fourth quarter here in a little bit. And not much to say in the third quarter. Overall, Coach Carpenter probably not too pleased with what he saw on that last. I mean, what happened there. But
not pleased with the fact that the defense holds the Bulldog offense to three rushing first, or just 3 first downs in the first half, 18 yards rushing, 5 yards passing, and then they come out in the third to start the third quarter after a DeMario Hayes, I believe it was an 86-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and the defense kind of lets the Bulldogs march down the field, on their own wheel, but kind of a small victory. They're holding them to a field goal. Yes, you would have liked to have seen the shutout intact, but as we were saying, you look for the positives, and I would think that would be a positive right there.
Yeah, and kind of a I don't know how you would describe it. You can look and say, guys, okay, that field goal wasn't really good, but they should never been in position.
Yeah,
to try. And
that's
what
a good
Coach
point.
Carpenter,
That's a good point.
Coach Smith, I guarantee
that's what it'll begin with.
And all right, it's about time to give the answer to the trivia question. We had a couple more guesses, and nobody has gotten it yet. One more time, this is the last chance. I'm going to give it about a minute or two, and then we're going to open it up and let some of these old Dragons that I've held back take a shot. Who is Junction City's first all-star football player? Who's the first all-star selection for the Dragons? Okay, so they try an onside kick, and let's see who recovered there. 55, Blake McClellan, fine job. I mean, he got right down on the ball, covered it up.
That's what you need to do in that situation. Cover the ball up and wait for the whistle.
That's it, and did it well.
Dragon ball, first and 10 on the 49.
All right, we're going to give you 2 hints. They said let's give 2 hints. I want you to think of a cartoon. It involves a cat and a mouse. It's a famous cartoon. That's your first hint.
That should be the
Your
only
second
one
hint is he has a granddaughter on the cheerleading squad. I mean, come on, folks. You ought to know who he is. Think of cartoons and think he's got a daughter. Kind of chic the cheerleaders here after this play. And here's Conjay Evans on a handoff, and he is going down the sideline, and he is going to score. Touchdown, Junction City. And just like that, the Dragons, very good play.
One play, 50-yard drive, 10 seconds, let's say. And the Dragons are on the board again.
And good, well blocked.
Well blocked, and good job by Evans along the sideline. He had to bring it out wide, but a good balancing act right there to stay in bounds.
And showing the speed, he outrun the pursuit, the angle that was on him, and got in the end zone. So 10:35 and counting to go in the ball game, and our new score now 42-3, and pending the extra point. Jarkel Brown to attempt it. Will Smith for the hold. And low snap. Will picks it up. He's in trouble and will go down. It was a low snap. It was on the ground, actually, and hard to handle.
Hard
and he did the best thing, just get on the ball. So the extra point attempt is no good. And with 10 minutes left in the game, it's 42-3. All right. got a free Coke out there, and I need somebody to give me an answer. Our sponsor question. And I got a fan here in the stands that's got the answer. The question is, who was Junction City's first all-star football player? And I tell you what, ease the camera down there. Gentleman in the white has got on the hat. There he is, folks. Anybody knows him? Got to guess from the backside. Who wants the Coke? 42-3 our score. And the sponsors that brought this question to you: McDonald's Grocery, Junction City Pharmacy, Junction City Florist, STI Sims, and the Accident and Injury Center of South Arkansas. Here's our kickoff. It's going to go pretty deep, down to about the 20. And Johnson's going to return it and get to about the 40-yard line. And let's see, I'm looking here, Junction City doing a little substitute now. Jacob, number 70, in the game for the Dragons. Lane Wood checks back in. 68 in there. I'll let you call them out. 68, 70's checked
Michael
in.
Smith and Corey Kemp,
All right.
defensive linemen, in for the Dragons.
Number 88 is checked in. And
Sean
number 13
Darius Livingston.
Okay. Akeem Gibson now in the game. Bulldogs still in the same offense. 8:20 to go. And here's a keeper by Riley, and the Dragon D on him immediately. He'll pick up about 2, and that's it. Okay. I tell you what, I'm going to credit Mr. Danny Wood with the answer, because he looked at me and pointed, and he has won a free Coke. Who was Junction City's first all-star football player? Tom Jerry. 1964 season. He was the quarterback and a conference winning quarterback. Dragons won the conference that year, 1964, the year I was born, and that's going to really make Mr. Tom feel old. But he was Junction City's first all-star football player, and this time there is nowhere to go. The Dragon D in there, number 56, in on the tackle for Junction City.
DJ Brown.
And
some more substitutes for the Dragon in at defensive end. Number 82, Michael Williams.
Yep. 34 has checked
Number
in.
34, Mason Gorman.
All right, old Mason. Let's shout out my buddy Scotty Gorman. I hope old Scott doing all right. Mason in there. Number, I believe, 30 is also checked in. All right, here's a give to Johnson. He's trying to get outside. We're going to get a flag, and that should be a hold. This
penalty.
should come back. I'm not going to say Lane Wood got held, but mugging might be another word you could use for that.
And folks, you can see it. Even the new guys in the ball game flying to the football, and Hampton doing what they can to slow them down. This results in a hold.
Yes, I mean, there's the snap, and they were in there immediately, and that's going to back it up. It'll make it a third, and let's call it about 14. Yeah, they're still marking. All right. That's going to be longer than that. Okay, spot foul. It's going to be third and 20. I'm going to say 25 yards, yeah. Third and 25. They got to get, their ball's going to be marked on 25. They got to get to midfield. All right. Riley's under center. He's checking out the Dragon defense. There's a snap. He drops back looking. He's going to throw it up for grabs. It's caught. A nice reception by number 80. And a first down. They're going to put the ball on about the 35. That was a nice catch.
That was a very nice
Number
catch, and
80
that was good coverage by the Dragons.
Yes.
But just a better catch right there by number 80. I believe that is
number 80. We're going to assume it's Chandler Riley. I mean, he made a nice reception there, and the Dragons actually had good coverage on it. It's a good play all around, and it gives the Bulldogs a first down on the Dragon 35 with 5.5 left in the game. Junction City comfortably in control, 42-3.
the 35-yard pickup is more than the Bulldogs had a total offense in the first half.
Okay.
Nowhere to go right there.
We're gonna do this here because I jumped the gun a little bit, but we still got a winner here in the stands. I got 2 of them anyway. Miss Norma Wilson also got it correct that it was Tom Jerry, 1964 All-Star football player. So we've got 2 winners tonight. Congratulations to both. And just run a play, a loss of 1 for Hampton. The Dragons trying to keep them from getting anything else. And the second unit is on the field for Junction City. All right, Riley pitches out to Johnson. He's got a nice little run here. And the ball is loose. It's picked up by Sailor Wilson, who falls down. Sailor was trying to build up a little speed there. And, of course, the field is wet. It rained pretty hard before the game tonight, and he goes down. But Junction City will take over. And the second unit offense basically is checking into the game. For the Dragons, I believe, I'm going to say that Jarkell's going quarterback now. I see number 2 out there. I do not, let's see, Randall's on the sideline, so I'm going to safely assume he's done for tonight. Lane Wood in the game. And now we're going to get a timeout. Coach Carpenter wants to talk some things over, and this is the stuff we talked about, Jacob. He's wanting to make sure, you know, I want to see what we got here.
You know, some guys are getting in the game for the first time maybe at a certain position. You just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, on the same base, because these reps matter, these plays matter, because it's always a competition. Not only against the team you're playing, but with the guys in front of you. Everybody's competing, and you know, competition brings out the best, and you know, it brings out the best in people, and it can only be positive for your team.
And here's another thing, and it's something we haven't touched on. You got some of these guys, okay, now they won't start this year. You know, they're trying to get a little more playing time, but you want them on them. You want to see them respond because they're the future. And, you know, we've got a good sophomore class. He's got a lot of juniors. So you want to see some of the juniors, especially that's not playing a lot, get in there, get some reps, show what they can do. And Jarkell Brown is now your quarterback. 21 lining up beside him is, let's see, get my roster here and make sure I'm right before I say it. And I was right, Devontae Smith will be lined up beside him. Dragons are in the gun. They got twins to close to their side of the field, one split wide to the far side. Clock running, 3:50 left in the game. The Dragons will go to 5-0 on the year. All right, Jarkell fires it out there. It's going to be low, incomplete. Intended receiver was number 5, Josh Larry. And brings up 2nd and 10. And now about
several skill position substitutions for the Dragons.
Yes, I looked up and I'm like, whoa, there goes 4 more in the game. Let's see if we can get some names on them. And of course, Chad Butler, he's back in. And we have 1 too many in the huddle there. Now they got him out. 88 is in, and that is
Will Smith at quarterback for the Dragons.
Will Smith now the quarterback. Livingston in the game. Lined up beside him, I believe, is Jay Mitchell. I'm not sure. I see the 5. I can't tell. No, excuse me. That's Avery. And he gets the handoff here, and he cuts to the outside. And is going to get a nice gain. A good run by Avery.
And you like to see that from a, you know, not just as a fan or not as us in the booth or as a coaching staff, but a stable of running backs. It's kind of been how things are the past 15 years. You ain't got one guy that can carry it. You don't have a 2 or 3. You got 4 or 5 guys that can tote the ball for you any given play.
Okay, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and 2. 2:20 left in the game. Will Smith in the gun, checking the clock, and I like what I see. He's checking that clock, milking it on down a little before he hands it off here. Now, good handoff. This is going to be number 21, Devontae Smith on the carry. And he has got a Dragon 1st down. Anna Marie Wilson is the granddaughter. So people were wondering. And we got people asking us, folks, I'm going to tell you what I know. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to go any further than that. Because if I say something, then everybody's, oh gosh, it's that bad or it's not as bad or whatever. All we know is they took Jaquise Dancy, was taken in a family car to the hospital to be evaluated. And that's really all we can say, and that's all we know. And we'll hope for the best. 1:30 left in the game, 42-3 our score. And this is Josh Armstrong. And Josh Armstrong is heading to the house.
House call.
And touchdown, Junction City. Speed kills.
Kills, yes it does.
My friend, you said that earlier. Speed kills. Josh Armstrong shot through there like Mama told him, come on home. And it's now 48-3.
And speaking of home, we're a minute and 8 from it.
And I got a feeling somebody's ready to see you.
Probably the studio host is probably
I believe
ready to
so.
welcome me home.
And I tell you what, am I allowed to do a personal shout out?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to shout out to the studio host, does a fine job each and every week, and to the assistant producer, the one and only June Bug. I'm going to shout out to her too. I'm sure she does a fine job every week. And thankfully, we're 35 seconds away from ending this. All right. The extra point is, I believe it was, yes, good. I was afraid to say after what happened with the field goal.
After earlier.
That crew, with that crew there. And that's probably going to be it. Hampton just taking their time, walking back over to Junction City doing the same. The clock is down to 10 seconds. 49-3 will be your final. And we're going to stay right here and go ahead and wrap things up. Junction City goes to 5-0 on the year. 20 wins in a row now in conference, 19 in a row over regular season. I was trying to make sure I got it right. 20 conference wins in a row now, 19 overall. Next week, Spring Hill. Give me an evaluation of what you saw tonight, good and bad. Start with the good.
Oh, good things. I mean, you see several guys contributing on offense. From running backs, Randall Holyfield, a big game. I know before his exit, he was 8 of 16, 124 yards and a touchdown. Also carried it twice for 64 yards. Big performance on his part. Defensively, the Bulldogs run out of the triple option formation. Very hard formation to defend, and the Dragons did an excellent job from the defensive ends in Bell and Armstrong and even Will Smith to the other Armstrong. Joshua just had the last touchdown carry. Overall, well played game by the Dragons. Yeah, there's some things you need to work on, but that's how it is after every week. And Coach Carpenter and his staff get back to the drawing board probably as early as tomorrow morning, and they'll be ready for Spring Hill.
The only bad thing, I guess if you want to throw, is that was on the field goal drive. We'll call it that. It seemed like that little bit of okay, and you make attribute some of it to. We got this game in hand. Let's hurry up and go home. I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get ready for next week. But overall, Coach Carpenter, I'm sure, going to be pleased because he saw some response after that looked good. And some good hitting on the fumble. That was some good licks by the second unit there.
By some guys that don't necessarily, that aren't on the starting 11, guys that are getting a chance, late in the game, that still want, that are out there playing hard.
And finally, one more time for those might have missed it because we were getting asked. There's some people here wondering. All we know is that they took Jaquise Dancy to the hospital for evaluations, and go from there. And that's all we do know, folks. Don't know how bad, how good, whatever. Don't know. Don't want to speculate. They got professionals that'll look at them, and I'm sure everything will work out for the best. Our sponsors tonight: McDonald's Grocery, Mr. Red Henry. All your catering needs, he can handle it. Fish, chicken, barbecue, you name it. What the event is, doesn't matter. Church, corporate event, family get-together, whatever. Rhett said, I'm the man you need to see for the catering needs. From gas to groceries, he's got all your needs there. Go by and see Red Henry, McDonald's Grocery. Junction City Pharmacy, Mr. Leon, Miss Sherry Hines. They got the gifts there for whatever event, baby shower, weddings, whatever that special event, they can do it. All your pharmaceutical needs, Mr. Hines can handle it.
Place to go.
And don't forget, they got the soda fountain. Got some nice treats there. You're thirsty, you want some ice cream, whatever. Junction City Pharmacy, your hometown pharmacy. My good friend, Miss Sharon Williams. Go by and see her, folks. Junction City Floors. Miss Sharon's got flowers, t-shirts, got some real pretty t-shirts there that the women will like. It's everything a woman would like in there. I mean, And y'all, I mentioned the first game, if you're in the doghouse, outhouse, whatever house you in and you need to get back in good graces, she can fix you up. She's got gift baskets, candles, the works. That's Junction City, Florida. STI Sims, Accident and Injury Center of South Arkansas. Mr. Dr. Jed Frisbee. Back pains, whatever, go by and see him. That's Accident and Injury Center of South Arkansas. And also STI Sims. Past the emissions, they've been involved in that, handling stuff like that for over 10 years, and big, proud supporter of Junction City football. We're glad to have all the sponsors that provide you this broadcast. Next week, I'll double check the county, but I'm pretty sure we're heading to Hempstead County and going to do a little bar hunting, Jacob. What does Coach Carpenter tell his team now in the locker room following this game, and what does he tell them for next week?
I was just, think on this one on the bus ride home. When you wake up in the morning, read the article in the paper, but after that it's over with. You got to get ready for, new week's coming, a new opponent, and you got to keep your same focus that you have, and you keep moving forward.
Okay, Rev just passed this to me. Hampton, 38 plays. Rush yards 66, pass yards 45. And Rev, I'm going to take a guess. Most of that came late in the game. Am I right? Pretty much so, yep. Junction City, Randall Holyfield, Jacob, you mentioned it a while ago, big game tonight. He set up 2 touchdowns, passed for a couple more, and overall a good game. Our final score from Andy Anders Field, Boyd Arnold Stadium here in Hampton. Junction City 49, those Canines of Calhoun County, 3. 4, Ricky the Rev once, Josh Avery. Ayers, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Devontae Avery. I was watching him walk off. Sorry about that. Fine job on the camera tonight by Josh. Mr. Derek Watts, our road producer. He got a title bump today. He's now also a road producer. That means he gets 2 Snickers instead of 1. I'm Wayne Pumphrey. Our studio host, Melissa Pumphrey. Thank you for your help. We'll see you next week from Hempstead County. Good night.
They just